The film is about spoken word poet Andrea Gibson, but I am not a spoken word poetry fan in the very least. So
we won't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. I had not heard of Andrea, somewhat shamefully. I had not heard of Andrea when I began this process a couple years ago. But Tig Notaro, the stand-up comedian, is a friend of mine. I've known Tig for about 11 or 12 years. And so I've been saying to Tig the entire time I've known her, like, bring me a comedy documentary. Why aren't documentaries funnier? And so when Tig called a couple years ago with an idea, and that idea led with the words poetry and stage 4 cancer, it sounded like the opposite of a comedy. But Tig said, listen, like, hear me out. Andrea is one of the funniest people I've known for my entire life. They had been friends for 25 years. And Tig said, this is the rock star of spoken word poetry. So, I know spoken word is, at least as a child of the 80s and 90s, it had sort of become a punchline in a lot of ways. But Tig said, like, just watch a few performances, and no is an acceptable answer if you're not into it, but I think you might spark to it. And so I did. I watched a few of Andrea's performances that Tig sent me, and I was blown away by a version of poetry that I didn't even know existed. It's kind of like stand-up comedy meets poetry meets storytelling. It has music, incredible narratives to it, and I was blown away by Andrea's art form. But then I listened to a few interviews that Andrea had done recently about sort of coming out with their cancer diagnosis, and the way that Andrea was talking about mortality, and end of life or potential end of life. Honestly, it was pretty scary to me as someone who's not very comfortable with mortality. Like, I think a lot of us are not. I was somebody, at least when I began this project, that was in no ways in touch with my own mortality or my loved one's mortality. So it made me a little afraid, but I was very compelled by it. So we said to Tig, like, if Andrea wants to meet us, we'll fly there this week to Colorado and go meet them. And that's what ended up happening and how the film began.